Kakadosh, good morning. We're just going to continue today's Daf Zayin 87. We're just going to start from the bottom of Pei Vav Amud Bet just to get back into it so we understand what's going on. Okay, it says over here like this. Uvechad b'Shabbat, there was going to be a machloket. We said like this. Keep clicking. One was a machloket, one was Rosh Chodesh. So it says over here, Rabbi Yosef Savar b'Chad b'Shabbat ha'ikva yarcha. According to Rabbi Yosef, he holds that on Sunday was Rosh Chodesh Sivan. Because if you remember, we said according to everybody, and Israel came by around the Har Sinai area, by the Midbar, they got to Midbar Sinai on Rosh Chodesh, and according to everybody, Shavuot was Shabbat. So when exactly was Rosh Chodesh? Okay, so it says over here, according to him, it came out on Sunday. So therefore, on Sunday, since we were tired from the toils of the path, we were traveling, he didn't say anything to us. Okay, Mishum Chulsha Deorcha. Betre b'Shabbat on Monday, which was the second day of Sivan, he told us, he told us we're going to be a Melech HaKohanim V'Goy Kadosh. But Tzlata on the third day, which is Tuesday, 3rd of Sivan, he told us some mitzvah of Hagbala, we're not allowed to go up to the mountain. On Wednesday, which is the 4th of Sivan, he told us to do Prisha, separation for the 3 days. Rabbanan Sabre, but rabbis hold, no. Betre b'Shabbat on Monday was Rosh Chodesh Sivan. Betre b'Shabbat on Monday, which is Rosh Chodesh Sivan, you didn't tell us anything. Because we were very tired. Betlata on Tuesday, Amalehu, he told us that we're going to be a holy nation. On Wednesday, Barba, he told us the mitzvah Hagbala. And on Thursday, we did the mitzvah Prisha. Okay, so that was the machlok between the two different shitot, between Chachamim and Rabbi Yosef. So asked the Gemara and Rabbi Yosef, Meitvei, it's written, Vikidashtam Hayom Umachar. The mitzvah Prisha was 2 days. Hayom, today, Umachar, and the next day. So Kasha Rabbi Yosef, it's a question against Rabbi Yosef, but according to him, if Prisha was given on Wednesday, it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Not 2 days, it's 3 days. So Amalach Rabbi Yosef comes and he answers you, Yom Echad Osif Moshe Midato. Moshe Rabbeinu added an extra day of Prisha. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu agreed to him. The Tanya was we learned in a Braita. There are 3 things that Moshe Rabbeinu did on his own accord. HaKadosh Baruch Hu agreed to him. Number 1, Osif Yom Echad Midato. He added on an extra day from himself. He separated. The second one was he completely separated from the woman. Right? That means that's why he separated from his wife. And he destroyed the luchot. So these 3 different actions that he did, even though he did it on his own accord, HaKadosh Baruch Hu agreed with him. Why did he add an extra day to the Shloshet Yemei HaPrisha, as we're saying? So my Darish, he says, Hayom Machar. Maza Hayom Machar? Hayom Kemachar. Today like tomorrow. What does that mean? Just like for tomorrow, it's the night and day together. So too, the same thing. Hayom leloimo. So to the day is also. Belayla hayina nafkale, but it already passed the nighttime. Meaning when he's coming and he's speaking to Bnei Yisrael, it's the morning. So therefore you miss last night. So he says, just like tomorrow, it's tonight and tomorrow. So to today should be last night and tomorrow. You don't have that. So because of that, Shema Mina, it comes to teach you, it's 2 days besides today. So therefore he had to add an extra day. And that's exactly what he did. So fine, that's beautiful reasoning. How do you know Hashem agreed with it? So answers the Gemara, that's for the Shabbat. The Shekhinah didn't come to our Sinai until Shabbat morning. Which means that even though it should have come on Friday, it didn't come until Shabbat. So the fact that it didn't come until Shabbat, that's a proof that HaKadosh Baruch Hu agreed to Moshe Rabbeinu. Second thing that Moshe Rabbeinu did on his own accord and HaKadosh Baruch Hu agreed to him, he separated from the woman. My Darish, what did he make a drasha? Amari said, right, just like Bnei Yisrael, that the Shekhinah only spoke to us by Har Sinai for a few minutes, for Sha'achat, and still he told us the time that we had to separate. Ani, for myself, that the entire the Shekhinah always is speaking to me. There's no kavua zman. They have to separate. So how do we know HaKadosh Baruch Hu agreed with him? Was he said, tell them to Bnei Israel, Shuvu lachem la'olechem, go back to your tents. Basically, go back to your houses with your wives. Uchtiv batre, and it's written afterwards, ve'ata, and you, ha'amodi madi, stay with me. So the fact that he went and he told them, you guys go back to your families and you're staying with me, that was a proof he agreed with him. You guys are going back to your wives, you're staying with me. And some people say it's another pasuk. Pel pe adaber bo. What does that mean? That mouth to mouth, I'm speaking to him. Which means, right, and that's what it's saying over here, that Miriam and Aaron, they were saying, and why did he separate from the woman? So they said, what? Moshe Rabbeinu only spoke to, HaKadosh Baruch Hu only spoke to Moshe, that he has to separate from him. And then he answers over here, he says, no, pel pe adaber bo, I'm speaking to him just because it's me to him. The only time, there's nobody else like that. Okay, shiberet haluchot, he broke the luchot. My dadish was the drasha. Amar, Moshe Rabbeinu said, 1 second. Uma Pesach, just like the Korban Pesach, which is going to be one of the Taryag mitzvot, the Torah says, Kol benecha lo yochabo, that a stranger is not allowed to eat from the Korban Pesach. HaTorah kula, the entire kula, right? It has to do with luchot abrit. That's Seret HaDibrot. Yisrael mumarim. And Bnei Yisrael now are mumarim for Avodah Zarah. They're doing Avodah Zarah. Alacha kama v'chama, look how much you have to be careful. They're not fitting to be mekabel the Torah. Right? So therefore, he broke them luchot. Ask the Gemara, how do we know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu agreed to him? Shneimar, it says in the pasuk, Asher shibarta. What does it mean, Asher shibarta? V'amar Shakish, Asher kochacha shibarta. Shkoyach. That's what he said. He said, Chazak Baruch, that you broke it. Asher kochacha. Your strength to be good. Why? Because you went and you broke the luchot. Fine. So now we're going back to the machloke between Chachamim and Rabbi Yosef. Tashem, when we're going to try to bring a proof, you have to be ready on the third day. Tasha Rabbi Yosef, it's going to be a question of Rabbi Yosef. Right? Because if we know that it was on Shabbat, the third day, right, was also part of one of the days. So what's going on? Right? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Friday is the third day. So says the Gemara, we already answered that. How many? Now we already answered. Moshe Rabbeinu added an extra day from his own accord. And that's why you had an extra day. Tashima, we're going to bring another proof. Shlishi. Right? What does that mean? The second day, right, this is the Yom HaShlishi, which is Tuesday, right, or the third day of the month. Shlishi b'chodesh, u'shlishi b'Shabbat. This is the third day of the month, and it's the third day of the week. So therefore he says, this is Kash Rabbanan, this is against Rabbanan. Because the Rabbanan said that Rosh Chodesh was when? According to Chachamim, when was Rosh Chodesh? Anybody with me?
Rosh Chodesh Sivan?
Yes.
It was Shabbat, no?
No, when was Rosh Chodesh? No one said Shabbat. Torah was Shabbat, according to everybody. When was Rosh Chodesh?
Friday.
I can't hear. What did you say?
He said Friday.
Friday.
No? Anybody? Baba Chaki? Amichai? Anybody?
Repeat the question.
The question is, when, first of all, like this, when was Matan Torah?
Shabbat.
Shabbat. That's according to everybody.
Yes.
Good. Chazak Baruch. When did they get to the Midbar Sinai? When did they get to Midbar Sinai?
So,
some say Yom Rishon, Sunday.
Some say Sunday and some say
Thursday.
Shabbat.
Monday.
Monday.
So now 1 second. According to everybody, again, according to everybody, B'chodesh HaShelishi Letzei Bnei Yisrael Me'Mitzrayim Ba'u Midbar Sinai. On the third month, we came to Midbar Sinai, the desert of Sinai. Now, remember like this. On Rosh Chodesh, because we made a juxtaposition between Rosh Chodesh Nisan and Rosh Chodesh Sivan, we came to Midbar Sinai. The machloke between Chachamim and the Rabbi Yosef is when was Rosh Chodesh? According to Chachamim, it was a Monday. According to Rabbi Yosef, Sunday. Okay? So one more time. According to everybody, they got to Midbar Sinai, Rosh Chodesh. According to everybody, Matan Torah was on Shabbat. Okay? So when is the machloket? When was Rosh Chodesh? Sunday or Monday? According to Rabbi Yosef, Sunday. According to Chachamim, Monday. So now according to this, we're going to try to bring a proof against Chachamim. Why? Because it says over here right, that Yom HaShlishi was the third day of the month and a third day of the week. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Tuesday is Yom HaShlishi. It was the third day of the week and third day of the month. It could only be the third day of the month if Rosh Chodesh was on Sunday. Because if Rosh Chodesh was yesterday, Monday, so it's the second day of the month. Capish?
Okay.
Okay.
Very good. So one more time, right? Says the Gemara, yeah? Tashema, Shlishi b'chodesh or Shlishi b'Shabbat. So Kasha l'Rabbanan, it's a question against the Rabbanan, right? So answers the Gemara, Amni lecha Rabbanan, the rabbis are going to answer you, who's this Braita? Hamane? Rabbi Yoseh, it's Rabbi Yoseh, this Braita. So it's not a question. You can't ask me a question from Rabbi Yoseh. That's what he said. So says the Gemara, Shlishi l'mai then. What is the Yom HaShlishi then? What does that mean, Shlishi? Shlishi of what? The weekday, the month. So L'Tanya says in a Braita, Vayashem Moshe divrei ha'am el Hashem. When Moshe Rabbeinu returned the words of the nation to Hashem, Uchtiv v'yegam Moshe divrei ha'am el Hashem. And it's written that Moshe Rabbeinu told them. Why is it written twice? Right? Which tzivui? Mama lo Akadosh Baruch Hu Moshe. What did Akadosh Baruch Hu tell Moshe? What did Moshe tell Bnei Israel? Or what did they say to Moshe? And what did Moshe answer the Gevurah? It's all an enigma. What's going on here in the parasha? Right? So answers the Gemara, Zo mitzvat Hagbala. This is mitzvat Hagbala, which was given on the third day, right? And that's why he told them. These are the words of Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yehuda, which means a mitzvah that they're not allowed to go up to the mountain. They have to put a border, a fence around the mountain. They're not allowed to go up to the mountain. Second explanation, Rabbi Omer, Batchila piresh onsha. At the beginning, he told them the punishment of the somebody that transgresses the Torah. Ichtiv vayashem Moshe, things that people, they don't want to accept it. You know, the punishments. Nobody likes to hear punishments. People like to hear good things, happy things. When you tell a person, if you don't do this, I'm going to punish you. People don't like to hear it. Yeah, but at the end, he told them also matan schara. He told them the reward. Things which draw forth the heart of a human being like an agadah. Stories, everyone loves stories. If I give you musar, you fall asleep. I tell you a story, everyone's, one more time, yeah. Why? Story. Right, the Magids. Right, why are they called Magids? And they're very famous. Because they grab the people's hearts with stories. People love stories. Right? I know Rabbanim that there are Magids, that the entire shiur is a story. It's all one big story, but it's one story after another story, and that's how they make the entire shiur, but it's all stories. Right? There's nothing else other than stories. Right? I know there's another Magid, that the entire shiur is one long story. Right? And the entire, it's something incredible, but it draws forth the entire hearts. Right? Third explanation, Ikadamri, at the beginning he gave them the rewards. Things which make a person's mindset calm. And at the end, the opposite. He explained the punishment at the end. Things which are very harsh, like a gid, right? Which is like a very bitter vegetable, right? So basically, that's why there's three different machlokot. What did he tell them? Mitzvah Hagbala, separating from the Har Sinai, okay? Onesh and then schar and then onesh. The punishment and the reward, or the reward and then the punishment. But according to the second two answers, same thing, just the question is what's the order, okay? So now Tashema, we're going to go back to the machloket. Shishi b'chodesh, Shishi b'Shabbat. So Kasha l'Rabbanan. It says that the 6th day of Sivan was on Friday, and it was also the 6th day of the month. So it comes out, Friday is always Yom HaShishi or Shishi, right? So Friday is Shishi. It was also the 6th day of the month. So now, if you're going to tell me that Rosh Chodesh was on Sunday, it makes sense. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But if you're going to tell me Rosh Chodesh is on Monday, so Monday is Aleph, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is the 5th of Sivan. So it's a question. What's going on? It's against the rabbis. And so the Gemara, Hanami Rabbi Yosef, it's also Rabbi Yosef. So this is also going to Rabbi Yosef. It's not a question. So Shisha Lemai, Shishi Lemai, what does it say the sixth day of what? So Rava is going to give now, we're going to give two Pirushim. Rava says Lechaniyatan, which means the sixth day of their camping. Because on Rosh Chodesh Sivan, which was Yom Rishon, according to Rabbi Yosef, they traveled opposite the harbor. So therefore, opposite the mountain. So it comes out that on the sixth day of the month, right, was the sixth day of Chanayatan, of camping. Right? So it was the sixth day of the month and the sixth day of Shabbat. Rabbi Yaakov says, no, it's not the camping, it's the traveling from Refidim. Because on that day they came from Mibar Sinai, which was Rosh Chodesh Sivan, and therefore they also traveled from Refidim. So it wasn't the sixth day of the camping, it's the sixth day of traveling. Okay? And the machloket was B'Shabbat de Marah. The machloket was to do with Shmirat Shabbat in Marah. It's written in the Dibrot Acharonot, in the second Aseret Dibrot in Vaitchanan. Shamonot Yom HaShoel Kadosh Kasher Tzivcha Hashem Lokecha. You have to keep the Shabbat just like Hashem commanded you, which means that Shabbat, the first time Shabbat was mentioned, was not by Aseret Dibrot. It was hidden mentionally. It was mentioned in a hiding way, obviously beforehand. Even though you don't see it in the Torah beforehand, it was mentioned beforehand. Where? Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav, Kasher Tzivcha, when I just like I commanded you, B'Marah. We were commanded in Marah, which preceded, right? Which preceded Refidim, which preceded Yitro. Because remember, Marah was where they found the waters of Marah right after Yam Suf. Okay, so that's where they accepted the Shabbat. More Savara Shabbat Ikpud. One of them says that they were taught on the Yikar of the Shabbat in Marah, right? Right, and it says over here, but on Isur Tchumin lo yifku, they weren't taught on the Isur of Tchumin, of traveling, right, outside of the borders. More Savara Tchumin nam yifku, they were also commanded on Tchumin. And therefore, they weren't able to travel to the Fidim on Shabbat. So therefore, it was the day of travelings. I mean, basically the machloket is, if you're going to tell me that they were prohibited to travel outside of the Tchum, so it comes out that by Marah, they were commanded on Shabbat, and they weren't allowed to travel. Right? So therefore, they weren't allowed to travel. However, according to Mandamar, that they were allowed to travel, so they traveled, and then it was sixth day to the traveling. Tashema, right? We went to bring another proof. Nisan shabo yatsu nitzah nitzah mabasa shachatu pischem, 15 yatsu, v'la'erev lakua bechorot. So it says like this. You should know that the month of Nisan, that Bnei Yisrael came out of Mitzrayim, on the 14th, they did the Korban Pesach. On the 15th, they came out of Mitzrayim, and v'la'erev, in the night of the...
Yeah, but sorry, Rabbi, how they have to be like doing Shabbat if they didn't get the Aseret Diberot yet?
Because again, according to everybody, they were commanded on Shabbat in Marah. Marah preceded the Aseret Dibrot. As it says in the Aseret Dibrot Hashonot, Shamort Yom HaShabbat Kadosho Kasher Tzivcha Hashem Lokecha, just like Hashem commanded you. When did Hashem command you? When did Hashem command you? And remember, Zachor v'Shamor v'Dibur Echad. It wasn't that the second Aseret Dibrot transpired a year later, or 10 years later, or 40 years later. The 10 commandments were the exact same 10 commandments. And that's why we were asking, what's the difference between the two different commandments? Why by one does it write Zachor, one does it write Shamor? So he said, no, you're right. Because they were both said in one shot. Zachor v'Shamor v'Dibur Echad. So now, if all the 10 commandments were given in one shot, there weren't two Ma'amad Har Sinais. There was one time that we went in front of a Har Sinai. So therefore, what does it mean, the words Kasher Tzivcha Hashem Lokecha, just like Hashem commanded you? Why would we be commanded on Shabbat? So the Gemara already answers, and Rashi brings it down, right, on the Pasuk to do with Marah, right? We were already commanded on Shabbat in Marah. Now the machloket though is, what were we commanded by the Shabbat? On everything of Shabbat, or everything except for Tchumin? Right? Everything except for Tchumin. Remember, Tchumin is even a machloket, a poskim. Is it Doraita or not? Some people say that the Tchum of 12 meal is Doraita. Shitat Rambam, this, that, going back and forth. But however, though, Tchumin maybe not. Maybe they were permitted Tchumin. So therefore, right? Well, the question is, one second. If you're going to tell me that they were commanded on Shabbat but not on Tchumin, so they traveled on Shabbat. So if they traveled on Shabbat, it was the sixth day later on of their camping. However, though, right, it says, if you're going to tell me that they were also makpidim on Tchumin, so then it comes out that they weren't, right? They weren't traveling. So therefore, since they weren't traveling, the sixth day of the week was also the sixth day of traveling, not camping. If you hold camping, it means that they traveled on Shabbat, and now it's the 6th day of camping. If you hold that they traveled on Shabbat, so it was the 6th day of traveling, not camping. Okay? Clear?
Yes.
Okay. So then we're going back to what happened exactly. We're going to bring another proof to Rabbi Yosef. It says that on Nisan, when we came out of Egypt, right, on the 14th was when they did the Korban Pesach. 15th, we came out of Mitzrayim. In the night of the 15th, it was Makab Bechorot, which means in between. So we did the Korban Pesach on the 14th. That night was Makab Bechorot. Next morning, we left Egypt. So says the Gemara, La'erev Salkadaitach. Do you really think that it was in the nighttime that was Makab Bechorot? Right? Which is the night after the 15th when we left Egypt? How could it be? Makab Bechorot was before we left Egypt, not after we left Egypt. Elamim Ba'erev, but rather the night before, not afterwards. Because if you take the order is out of order. It says 14th, they did the Korban Pesach. Right? They slaughtered the Pesach, sorry. They didn't do it, they slaughtered the Pesach. Right? And that's what we do until today. Meaning that the Korban Pesach, even until today, Chatzot, is when you start the slaughtering of the Korban Pesach on Erev Pesach. Okay, on the 15th, they came out. And then on the nighttime, there was Makab Bechorot. So what is the nighttime? Nighttime after the 15th? But what? They had Makab Bechorot after we left Egypt? It doesn't make sense. So the Gemara says, you're right, it has to be mi ba'erev. Now says the Gemara, Oto Yom, that day the Bnei Yisrael came out of Mitzrayim, which was the 15th, was Chamishi b'Shabbat, right? Was on Thursday. So now, Michameisar, right? Everyone knows that, by the way. That's according to everybody. Everybody says that what happened was that we left Egypt on Yom Chamishi. That's why this year Shabbat HaGadol was on the same Shabbat HaGadol, the 10th of Nisan. Because remember, the 10th of Nisan was Shabbat HaGadol then, right? That was when they went and they tied the sheep to the bedpost. Okay? So therefore it comes out, it was like exactly like this year. This year, Pesach was on Thursday, correct? It was Wednesday night, it was Thursday, Friday, and Shabbat.
Yes.
Shabbat Chol Moed, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, very good. So it says here, right? So now we're going to make a calculation. Listen to the calculation. If you're going to tell me that the 15th of Nisan was on Thursday, so Resh Yar Diyar, it comes out Rosh Chodesh Iyar, which is 16 days later. Because remember, Nisan is always full, so it's always 30 days. The Shabbata was on Shabbat. The Reish Yar Chad Sivan, so Rosh Chodesh Sivan is Bechad B'Shabbata, so it's on Sunday. So Kasha Lebanon, so there's a proof against Rabbanan. If you look in the footnote there, he gives you the entire calendar, but it's a very simple calculation. He's saying, if the 15th of Nisan is on Thursday, 16 days later becomes the 30th, right? Becomes Rosh Chodesh Iyar, which is Aleph. So that's going to come out on Shabbat. Okay, if you have everyone has the picture there?
Yes, we have the chart.
Yeah.
According to Shitat Rabbi Yosef, 15th is on Thursday. It was on the hay. It might be too small for everyone. Okay, it's on the hay. Okay, then what happens is the 30th is on Friday, so the number 1 is going to be on Shabbat. Okay?
Yes.
And then Rosh Chodesh Sivan is going to be on Sunday. Okay?
Yes.
And Shavuot is on Shabbat. So this is according to Shitat Rabbi Yosef, so it's perfect. So there's a question against rabbis. Answers the Gemara. Amdi lecha Rabbanan are going to answer you. Iyarda ushata de ishata ibura mebare. What does that mean? That year, the month of Iyar, right, was also a Chodesh Maleh of 30 days.
30 days.
Which means that they had 30 and 30. 30 for Nisan and 30 of Iyar, right? And that's the second one, right? This is, again, according to everybody, it's the 15th. But then what happened is that it came out, right? This was still Shabbat, so this is still okay. There's the same Shita, but then the next one was a problem, because it was also 30. So you added 1 day, okay? So says the Gemara, Tashema, right? We're going to come and bring a proof, the Lo Yibrua, that they didn't make it a month of 30. Why? It says in the Gemara, Nisan shebo yatzu Yisrael mitzrayim. Nisan that they came out of Mitzrayim, Barbasa shachtu b'Yisrael. They slaughtered their Korban Pesach on the 14th. Chamisha asar yatzu, they came out on the 15th. V'leilav laku bechorot. La'erev Sal Kadaita, asked the Gemara, you really think it was the next night that they had Makah Bechorot after they left Egypt? But it was me Ba'erev, the night before Laku Bechorot. And Ve'oto Yom, Chamishi B'Shabbat it was the Thursday. Hishlim Nisan, so it finished Nisan, Virai Iyar Lio B'Shabbat. So Iyar is going to be on Shabbat. That was according to everybody. Chaser Iyar, so now Iyar is Chaser. Vira Siva Lio B'Chamesh, so it's obvious. So it's going to be a question against Rabbanan. So says the Gemara, no, again, this is according to Rabbi Yosef. According to the rabbis, they did make it 30 days. According to Rabbi Yosef, they didn't. So Rav Papa comes and he wants to bring another proof to Rabbi Yosef. Tashema, we're going to bring a proof. Right? It says that they traveled from Elim and all Bnei Yisrael, they came to Mibar Sinai. On the 15th day of the second month, that day, Shabbat was on Shabbat. Ichtiv, as it's written, you have to take the man on 6 days, and on Shabbat you don't take it. So if right now you're going to tell me the 15th of Iyar was on Shabbat, so Mela Rosh Chodesh Sivan is on Sunday. So it's a question on the rabbis. Again, we're talking about the 15th of Iyar, because that's when they're going to start taking the man. Remember, the man did not fall right away. The man, they took provisions with them. So until the provisions didn't finish, so then that's when it started coming down the man and everything. So he's saying, if you're going to tell me now from the 15th of Iyar, which is Shabbat, so the 15th of Iyar is Shabbat, so Rosh Chodesh Sivan is on Sunday. So answers the Gemara again. Right? That was when they made it a leap year. They added the extra day. So therefore it was 30 days. So that's why it's going to come out on Monday. So Amale Huravi Chavibi, it says, Amale Rav Chavibi, the Chozna Larvashi, we're going to bring another proof. When did they inaugurate the Mishkan? On Rosh Chodesh Nisan, on the second year. Okay, V'tana, we learned. Oto Ayom, Natal Eser Netiot. Right? They went and they planted. Right? It was the first of 10 different things. The Yishon Ma'aseh Bereshit. It was the first day of the week. Okay. The Yishon Nesim, the first day of the Chanukat Mishkan, which means that they brought the Nesim, brought their korbanot. Yishon Kiuna, the first of the korbanot of the Kohanim. That's when they started. Okay, but that was the first day. It was already the Yom HaShmini L'Miyuluim. Remember, Moshe Rabbeinu was the first Kohen Gadol, but it was only for the 7 days. And then the 8th day, Vayiv Yom HaShmini, that's when it started Aaron Kohen to start working. Yishon LaAvodah, Yishon also for Avodah, not only of the Kiuna, but also Avodah. Right? It says over here for the bringing the Korbanot Tzibur, and things that. Yishon L'Iridat HaEsh, the first time the fire came down from the Shamayim on the Korbanot. Yishon L'Achilat Kodshim, the first day that they ate the Kodshim. Yishon L'Shikun Shechina, the first time that the Shechina came down to Israel. Yishon L'Varech Yisrael, the first time in Birkat Kohanim. Yishon L'Yisur Bamo, the first time that it was prohibited now to do a Bama. Right? Because once they inaugurated the Mishkan, they're not allowed to bring any more Bama outside of the Ol Moed. And the last one is Rishon LeChodashim, the first of the months. Nisan is the first of all the months. So says the Gemara, Umidiresh Yarched Nisan Daishat Shabbat. Now if you're going to tell me that Rosh Chodesh Nisan came out on Shabbat, Deshtakad, so last year, Reviv Shabbat, it's going to be Wednesday. If you look in the footnote, the Gemara is going to bring a proof to it, which means what happens is that every single year, last year is going to be a few days behind, 4 days behind if I remember. But we're going to see it right now. So that's what's happening, which means that if you right now had this year, which is the second year around, if it was Sunday, so last year, Rosh Chodesh was on Wednesday. The Gemara is going to bring a proof. The time is we learned in a Braita. Acherim omrim, other people say, Em ben atzeret la'atzeret, ve'em ben Rosh Hashanah l'Rosh el arba'a yamim bilvad. The difference between Shavuot and Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah is always going to be 4 days only. So it says over here, B'shana regila, right, in a regular year, which is 354 days, right? Yamim elu mitchalkim lechamishim Shavuot. There's 50 weeks, 50 weeks, which comes out to 350 days. So therefore, since it's 350 days plus 4, it comes out that the certain time in the year is always going to be 4 days more late, right, than in the previous year, because you have to add another 4 days. So one more time, if let's say Shavuot this year, okay, if Shavuot this year came out on Thursday, correct?
Friday.
Friday.
Friday, sorry, you're right. It was Friday and Shabbat. So it was Friday. So now, if it's a normal year, we're not talking about leap years, because leap years throw everything off. If it's a normal year, so now, a normal year, 350 days later, right, which is exactly 50 weeks of 7 days, so it's going to come out the same day. But now, you're missing 4 days. So how do you do it then? So it comes out that it's going to be 4 days later. So Shavuot next year will not be on Friday. It will be Shabbat, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It will be Tuesday. Is that correct or not?
Should be.
Don't buy what I tell you. Check.
I want to check.
Slev,
Okay.
Shvat, Adar.
It's the beginning would be like Tuesday.
Monday. Monday.
Tuesday.
It's Monday, Tuesday. So now, if you're going to tell me it's Monday, Tuesday, so if this year was Friday, Shabbat, so you're going ahead 4 days.
3 days.
3 days or 4 days? How are you doing that?
No, because Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Mazbut. It's true. Because you have to count Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah?
So it's the evening of Sunday night, so it's Monday.
Exactly. So make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. He says here in the footnote that on a leap year, there's only going to be 1 extra day also as well. The reason why is because since the leap year, the extra month of Adar is only 29 days, so 28 days is again the full month, the full 7 day, like the weeks of 7 days. So it's only going to be a difference of 5 days instead of 4 days. He brings it down here. Lemashal, im Chag Shavuot on 1 year will be on Wednesday. The next year will be on Sunday. Right? So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Shabbat. No. So then it's Thursday, Friday, Shabbat, Sunday. So it's not including that day.
No, it starts from Erev Wednesday.
Erev Wednesday, I mean Thursday.
Yes.
That's what it means over here. Chag Shavuot b'Shalayim Yom Revi'i on Wednesday. But Wednesday to Sunday is 4 days, no? Sunday. Yeah, that's 4 days. So this will be...
Yeah, that's fine.
Shabbat? No, Thursday, Friday, Shabbat, Sunday. So this should also be Shabbat, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So that's weird.
No. It has to be Friday, Shabbat, Sunday, Monday.
Sunday, Monday. Okay, fine. Very good. Fine. Next. So it comes out. So now we're going to try to finish. Let's finish off. So it says, so now, if you're going to tell me then that Rosh Chodesh Nisan, right? Again, if Rosh Chodesh Nisan in the second year is going to be on Sunday, so in the first year, it was Wednesday. So Rosh Chodesh Iyar is going to be on Erev Shabbat. Okay? V'reish Yarcha, now Rosh Chodesh Sivan is going to be on Shabbat. So this is going to be a question whether it's Rabbi Yosef or whether it's according to Rabbanan. So basically, one more time. The second year around was when the Mishkan was inaugurated. It was inaugurated on a Sunday. So now if the previous year was going to be what? Was going to be 4 days less. So the first year when we came out of Egypt, when was Rosh Chodesh Nisan? Rosh Chodesh Nisan was on a Wednesday. So if Rosh Chodesh Nisan was on a Wednesday, because it's 4 days previous, so in 1 second, if it was on a Wednesday, so Rosh Chodesh Iyar was on a Friday. If Rosh Chodesh Iyar is on Friday, right, 30 days later, right? So Rosh Chodesh Iyar is on Friday, so then Rosh Chodesh Sivan is on Shabbat. So that's a question against Rabbi Yosef and Rabbanan. According to Rabbi Yosef, it was Sunday. According to Rabbanan, it's Monday. So the Gemara answers that Rabbi Yosef, according to Rabbi Yosef, Shiva Chaserim, there are 7 months which are Chaser instead of 6 that they did in that month. And therefore, Pesach of the first year, right, was only It says over here there was only 3 days difference. It wasn't 4 days difference. It was 3 days difference. So it comes out that Rosh Chodesh Nisan was on Thursday. So Rosh Chodesh Iyar was on Shabbat, and Rosh Chodesh Sivan was on Sunday. That's according to the Shita of Rabbi Yosef. So that was the first year. That means it was 7 months lacking, not 6. Usually it's 6 lacking and 6 full. Here they had 7 lacking. Okay? And according to the Rabbanan, Pechet Amud Aleph, according to the rabbis, Shmona Chasarim. There were 8 months which were lacking. And that's why it got into the same account. Okay? And that's how we get it to it, Bezrat Hashem. Very good. So it's a little bit,
Chazak.
Chazak.
Baruch.
a little
Thank
bit
you.
of mathematics, but I think